What's going on YouTube? This is Lito Diaz with quick trips and tips. If you happen to be going to Montreal in the wintertime with your kids, I'm going to give you some quick tips to how to have a quick trip and a great time in Montreal. Alright, so the first thing is, if you're bringing kids on a trip, is to keep in mind that you're going to be slowed down. You know, kids walk a lot slower than we do. You know, they get distracted easily. You have to kind of go around their schedule. So just keep that in mind. Montreal is a great place. It's a metropolitan city that has a lot to do, and it's very easy to have a great time, you know, bringing your son or your kids in general, especially during the winter time. There's so many activities to do in Montreal if you want to enjoy the snow. Like, we're from Georgia, so we don't get snow. So that's the reason that we went up to Montreal during December, you know, to experience the snow and all the activities that Montreal has to offer. All right, so transportation, getting from the airport to downtown Montreal. It takes about 45 to an hour to get there, and the best way to get there is using their bus. There is an express bus that's number 747, and it comes every, I think, 10 to 15 minutes, and it's a direct route into Montreal. It leaves you at this metro station, and to get a ticket to get on the bus, there's kiosks right there in the airport. It's $10 for 24 hours, and the great thing about that ticket is that you could use it on the bus and on the subway metro system. So you can bounce back and forth using the bus and the metro system with that one card. Each individual person does need their card, but for kids under 6 years old, they're free. All right, so where to stay? I recommend staying in Le Plateau, and that area is just full of restaurants, you know, great bars, lots to do, lots to see. Everything is in walking distance. You'll be in a very centralized location that you can get anywhere in all the major sites very easily and very fast. So Le Plateau is my recommendation for the best place to stay in Montreal. So things to do in Montreal in the wintertime. Keep in mind that when you go to Montreal in the wintertime, those hop-on, hop-off tour buses, they stop. But you can definitely go see all the sites just using the bus. There's a lot to do. There's Christmas markets, there's, you know, sledding, ice skating all over the city. I recommend starting in Mont-Royal. In Mont-Royal, it's a big park, and one of the most popular places is called the Observatory Mont-Royal. And that's where you'll get the most beautiful view of Montreal, the cityscape. To get up to Mont-Royal is really easy. All you gotta do is take bus 11, and because you have that car that's good for 24 hours, just get on the bus. The observatory is maybe like a 5-minute walk. And while you're walking there, you know, you can play in the snow. It's beautiful. You'll see people like cross-country skiing and walking on the snow with their snowshoes. And then from the observatory, you could walk to Mont-Royal Park. So at the Mont-Royal Park, you could go tubing down the hill and ice skating, and you can rent your, if you want to go cross-country skiing, if you want to rent snowshoes. I think they even sell gloves if you forgot some, and beanie caps. We opted to just go tubing there. The cost is $9 a person to rent the tube, and it's good for 4 hours. And like I mentioned, there is ice skating there, but the best place to go ice skating in December and in the wintertime in Montreal is at the Old Port. It's the coolest place to go ice skating in Montreal because it's right on the water, beautiful view of the city in the background. You know, it's all lit up, they play music, and every night has a different theme. We happened to be there for hot cocoa and free marshmallow roasting night, which was awesome. Definitely check out the Old Port. And so at the Old Port, one of the great things that they have is a Christmas market. And I think there's like 3 major ones, and our favorite one was at the Old Port. The Christmas market at the Old Port, I think it's called Marche de Noël. I'll put the link down below to the actual website, that way you can keep track if you were going next year. At the Christmas market, you can make your own candy, you can buy maple syrup, there's people giving you like samples of different types of beers and wine, and it was just a really great time. So they also play movies at the Christmas markets. It's at the Old Port, and it's literally right there where the Christmas market is. And I think they were playing like Edward Scissorhands when we were there. But if you really want to sit in 25-degree weather to watch a movie, you have fun with that. We weren't up for that. So Montreal is recognized as a very foodie place. They have great restaurants, and it's very international. So you go from having Italian food to Chinese food, and they're also known for their great cafes. They're coffee lovers. And one of the coolest coffee shops to visit is Cafe Venosa. Why? Because they have cats all over the place, and if you happen to be vegan, they're also vegan. The cool thing about having all those cats in there is the fact that they adopt them. So they rescue these cats, and when you go in there, if you fall in love with a cat, you could actually take one home. So I felt like that was pretty cool. And if you're in Montreal with your kids, they'll love that. Keep in mind that Montreal is a little pricey when it comes to food, especially if you are visiting the touristy spots like Old Port. The average plate was anywhere from like high 20s to mid 40s. So just keep that in mind. It is a little expensive, especially if you're bringing kids and stuff. So 3 things that I definitely recommend that you try when you're in Montreal. Maple syrup, you're in Canada, and bring some home. Poutine, which is French fries with cheese curds and gravy. It's a heart attack in a little bowl, but it's so good. And if you saw my video, I mentioned that you should always ask a local where to go eat. You know, when you do a lot of Googling and you go on Pinterest, yes, you get great ideas, don't get me wrong, but sometimes they kind of push you to like the expensive ones or someone that's paid for them to be advertised. Ask a local, and when I asked a local, they told me to go to Schwartz. It's owned by Celine Dion, and they're famous for their smoked meat sandwiches. I found the sandwich to be a little overpriced at $11.05 for just meat, mustard, and bread, and it's just white bread. But it's one of those things that you really can't leave Montreal without trying. So that's it. Those are my quick tips for a quick trip to Montreal, especially if you're going in the winter and if you're having kids. I like making my videos short, so if you have any questions, ask me down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe, check out the actual Montreal trip video. It'll be in this corner or this corner, and I'll put the video in the description down below as well. Check out my other videos on my YouTube page, and again, thank you for watching, and have a great day.